Hello, folks. Max here. Today gonna be making like a little bit of a longer video. It's gonna be a little less serious. These are kind of the videos that I kind of want to make going forward. Just long, uh, just kind of rambling about stuff that I really care about, whether it be serious or not serious. I kind of take the stuff that I love serious anyway, but I can differentiate between like what I'm talking about today and like uh, the Vietnam War, like something really serious. But today, I'm going to be talking about why I love the Elder Scrolls so much. And if you have not heard of the Elder Scrolls, I'm very sorry to hear that. It's it is a fantastic series made by Bethesda. Sorry for the cough. I'm kind of getting over being sick right now, but we'll be fine. So apologies for any coughs in the audio. But the Elder Scrolls made by Bethesda. You've probably heard of Bethesda. They obviously made like the Elder Scrolls, Fallout, uh, Dishonored, Prey. That reboot of Prey was really good. But today is about the Elder Scrolls. So Elder Scrolls is a high fantasy action RPG, which, if you're not a huge fucking nerd, means you swing a sword and you make your character. And it's really fucking cool. It all started back in, what was it, 95, 94. I will need to check myself on that, but I believe it was like the mid to late 90s. And the first two Elder Scrolls games, they're interesting. They're very interesting games. I think it's really cool to see like where the series came from, and they are limited in like their specs and stuff, or not specs, but like what they actually run on, like the engines they run on. Um, they are very complex, not technically, but mechanically. What the games actually do are very impressive for the time they came out. So the first one's called Elder Scrolls Arena, and it's pretty like it's pretty standard. You wake up in a dungeon. Some ghost lady tells you to find 8 fragments of the Staff of Chaos, and you go all across Tamriel trying to look for uh, these fragments of the Staff of Chaos. It sounds really generic, but like with as time went on, like more world building, more lore that went into like the characters and the villain and and everything else like in that game, like as just time went on, it got more contextualized. It became a little bit more interesting. It's pretty bare bones compared to like almost anything else you'll see in an RPG today. But I'm kind of a sucker for that generic stuff because I think it's a little bit easier to uh, project yourself onto it, but like maybe whatever character that you want to play. And actually, I do think the sequel Daggerfall is a very, very interesting game. If any of you are interested in the first two, the way that these are sounding, they are both free on Bethesda's website. You can download them. I don't. I'm pretty sure they're safe for almost any operating system. I can play it on my Chromebook. So if I can use it on a fucking Chromebook, you should be able to use it on almost any computer. But Daggerfall is very interesting because it first of all, it's a very large game. And now it's deceptively large because it's the first two, the Arena and Daggerfall, are both technically very large. They are very large games, but they're procedurally generated maps. So that means like almost everything you see is going to be random except for like the towns and some of the NPCs in it. So like all the dungeons, all the side quests like outside of like the main mission and the guild quests and the major side quests in the game, they're all like they're all random. So there's no somebody had to make that stuff, but they didn't have to make it like a million times over. A computer did that for them. And that's actually very, very impressive for the time. A lot of games weren't doing that at the time, and we're actually kind of seeing that come back to life in open worlds, especially in RPGs now. But what sets Daggerfall apart from Arena are the actual mechanics in the game are so fleshed out and like interesting. It's mind blowing that that game came out in the 90s on on DOS. You can I'm gonna give you one example. There's a bunch of crazy shit you can do. One example of just how much depth it has. So like any open world RPG, you got a bounty system. You do a crime, you got a bounty on your head. The guards will come after you. Whatever. Well, there's that in Daggerfall, but there are about two extra layers to that. You got the bounty system. The guards are going to come after you, but if the guards do catch you, you can either bribe them, you can pay the fine, or you can be taken to court and you can convince the jury or the judge. You can straight up convince the judge, even if it was murder, that you are innocent. You can do that if you want to, or you can bribe the judge, you can bribe the guard. Not sure if you can bribe the jury or not. Probably can, but like that, I I can't think of like a cooler way to handle a crime system than to be able to do that. Like, that is so cool. That's so awesome to me that it is a completely unnecessary part of a bounty system. Like, you're incentivized to not do crime, but even if you do, there is a way to get out of that crime. That's amazing. That's just amazing. You can create so many scenarios with that, with that in mind. It's so cool. But a lot of people will start to recognize like what the Elder Scrolls is once Morrowind comes around. Morrowind came out in 2003 on PC. I think it came out on the OG Xbox. Yeah, it came out on the OG Xbox I think a year later. And it it's it's very dated, but I think it's still playable. I think it's worth going back to play if you like RPGs. Um, what Morrowind does differently from Daggerfall and Arena is instead of having this high fantasy European elven kind of influenced vibe, it just smashes together all of these different cultures and ideas and religions, and it's so well done. The world building is so well done. It's incredible. The the I forget what his actual title is, but his name is Michael Kirkwright, I believe, or Kirkbride. I might be wrong about that. Uh, he he really really loves psychedelics, and you can tell, and I appreciate that, and I really appreciate that. A lot of his ideas are off the fucking wall, and it's so cool. Like it's just incredible. Like uh I'm trying to think of an example, but like there are just so many like little tidbits that like exemplify just how cool the world building is. I'll give you one. I'll give you one. So in Morrowind, it's the land of the Dark Elves, and they were turned they were turned into gray-skinned elves by a god because they decided to start worshiping three other uh, three living gods. They're called the Living Tribunal, and shit. Sorry, I'm trying to collect my thoughts. So they were turned dark skinned by a god because they started worshiping these three living gods called the Tribunal, and all throughout Morrowind, like there are different teachings and like different perspectives on every god and every tribunal. But there's this one house in particular, House Telvanni, who are a bunch of fucking asshole wizards who grow tree forts, and they're just dickheads. They think they're better than everybody else. And you can tell this. Like you don't have to talk to any of them to know this. If you saw somebody playing and they didn't talk to anybody and they went to a Telvanni fort, there are no stairs. You have to know how to levitate if you want to go to the second floor of any of these forts. And that's fucking incredible. You would never see that in a game today. That they are a major faction in an open world RPG game that straight up, if you do not know magic, you do not know levitation, like you straight up you can't continue any of those quests if you need to like get up there. You don't know how to levitate. You would never see that in a game today because developers want you to see the stuff they created, and I respect that. But I also respect like the game saying, "Hey, like you have to make a character for this to work. Like your character has to line up with the policies and ideologies of the faction that you want to join." And that is oh my god, that is incredible. It's so awesome. Like it's just so cool. I can't repeat myself enough. But I think like my my personal favorite like style aesthetic, it definitely has to go to Oblivion. It's just so like maybe I do think I think I'm a lot biased actually, since that's like the first one. That's the one I grew up on. It's just so like it's so peaceful and serene, but like there's just so much dark shit under all the beautiful places you go and see, and all like the kooky characters that you talk to, the bad voice acting. It it all just like comes together, at least for me, for the probably the best open world that I've played. It's the one that I can get the most immersed into because it's not trying to take itself too seriously, but at the same time, when something happens in front of you, you're like genuinely not surprised because you could see it happen. You can get into it, like you can see some wild shit, wild stuff. Like there's this quest in the game where you go up to a statue. I think the name of the quest is Sanguine. He's a he's a god of debauchery and sin and lust and all that, gluttony. He's a glutton, and the quest is you sneak into a castle that's hosting a big dinner party with all these like important people, and you have to. He gives you a spell that makes everybody go fucking crazy and take their clothes off. He doesn't tell you what the spell's gonna do. It just happens right in front of you, and it's so good. It's so good. It's hilarious. There's another Daedric quest for Sheogorath. He's the god of madness and just being insane. You have to go to this town that's full of cat people, and they're really superstitious about like the end of the world. They have this really like they have these dumb signs of like the apocalypse, and one's like they let's see, what is it, like one like poison the cattle. That's pretty normal. The second one is their most prized cheese is stolen. You have to steal their prized cheese. Yeah, you got to steal their cheese. And the third one, you don't make it happen, but like once you steal the cheese, Sheogorath just goes like, "Hey, watch this," and fucking dogs, flaming dogs, just start coming from the sky, and these cat people start running out. They're shitting themselves. They're like, "What the fuck's going on? The world's ending," and you're just sitting there watching it, like, "Wow, that that happened. I made that happen." And there's just nothing. There's nothing like getting into a world like that where you can sit down and see something like that happen and like genuinely be pulled in and feel like you're there. And I would talk about Skyrim, but this is going on a little long, so I think I'm gonna end it here. I hope you guys really liked this kind of longer video or audio format. I really liked it. I like just rambling on about stuff. I stutter a lot, but whatever. As long as I get my point across, I really don't care how I sound. So yeah, I hope everybody who listens to this has a fantastic day, and that you are. I hope you're inspired to check out the Elder Scrolls and Fallout, for that matter. Fallout's fucking awesome. No cap. Fallout's awesome. So yeah, much love, guys. Yeah, that's it.